Welcome to episode 20 of the Communication Error Podcast. This is the Community Patch Notes episode of What Makes Games Worth Full Price. I could not remember what last week's episode was, but now I got it. I understand. And that was a fun conversation. So if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to it. But before we get into it, we have a very special guest with us. Our first patron and probably maybe one of the calmest people on the internet, Jefftroidvania. Yeah. All your videos are very soothing. So welcome, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good. I cut Johnny off, so I just want to say it's Jefftroidvania. I didn't want your name to go unnoticed as I was interrupting. So
yeah, well, I'll have all the links in the show notes and description and everything. But Jeff, give the people a little bit of a breakdown of what you do on the internet.
I make very chill video game videos.
That's facts. Like that is 100% true. They are super chill.
Yeah. I try to not go too fast, keep a good cadence and try to be non-biased as much as possible, as positive as much as possible. It's tough. It's tough in these days when it's easy to be negative to get those views.
Right.
So it's like a lot more work, but I think it's worth it. And funny that you call me calm. Between my friends, there's a joke where someone will just randomly yell at me, "Calm down, Jeff."
That is funny
because like standing there doing nothing.
Even listening to you, like right now, like you're just so calm. I don't know if it's your voice or I don't know what it is, but it's just soothing and calming.
Well, we haven't talked about Starfield yet. I feel like maybe.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm gonna get Jeff angered, riled up. I've seen him drop some F-bombs on Twitter, so who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I apologize if I do that on this show by accident, because when I'm speaking candidly, it just comes out sometimes. So I don't know if you edit that or anything.
You would be our first.
If it happens, hold on. Do I have any paper?
It's funny because in my videos I don't. I rarely ever say any. I don't even say like the little ones.
Mm-hmm.
But the little ones.
The little ones. But when I'm streaming, I just speak candidly, and that's how I talk normally. So it just comes right out.
Yeah, well, hopefully I don't entice you for a Starfield F-bomb because it might happen. But no worries. If it happens, I'll edit. I'll write down the timestamp and edit it out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, just use the old sproing sound. Just put it over my voice.
Yeah, I think I do have the bleep sound. So well, I do need a soundboard to make sure.
Spice up the podcast a little bit.
I think Johnny wasn't lying when he said that your videos are so calm and like they're one of my favorite videos to watch when they pop up on YouTube, just because I already know what I'm in for, and it's like you're cleansing everyone's timeline.
Oh, thank you.
So
it's one of the nicest things I've actually ever heard.
So for anyone that is listening, please go follow Jefftroidvania. Again, we'll put all of the links in the show notes, but I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not following and listening to everything that he has to say. It's really, really good. And just, it's calming. Like that's the best way to put it. But you also have a podcast, the Jefftroidvania podcast.
It's what I like to call the on again and off again podcast, because my friend Rob and I that do the podcast, we are both really busy. And sometimes we just can't find the time. And I think the last time we recorded was over a month ago at this point. So we just will randomly pop up with an episode and just like, but sometimes it's better that way because sometimes there's just nothing to talk about. So
yeah, but it's obviously a podcast around your love of Metroidvanias. How did that start?
What's funny is that I never realized that I was a fan of Metroidvanias until Dread came out.
Oh.
And then I was so
Is that a
excited
Metroidvania? It's a Metroid game, right?
I would say, I mean, it would be weird to not call a Metroid game a Metroidvania, but yeah, I mean that was coming out, and I was like, and people were like, "Oh, Metroid Prime 4 is not coming out," but I'm like, "Yeah, but like we're getting another 2D Metroid." And then I was thinking about it, I'm like, the last few games I played that I loved were like the Ori games,
Mhm.
Guacamelee, Hollow Knight. I'm like, wow, okay, I am basically playing. If I'm not playing a Bethesda RPG, I'm playing a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Have you
So
played Blasphemous? That just came out.
I didn't play the first one yet.
That is the Metroidvania.
Yeah.
They are very good, but they are like, I don't know if you like the like weird. They're weird, like the lore and the art style. It reminds me of Dark Souls, like that kind of weird.
Like Gothic.
Yeah, God. Yeah, God. That's a good way of putting it. But they are fantastic games, so I recommend them if you like
I've,
Metroidvanias.
yeah, I've got one for you. Maybe you've played it. I don't know. Yoku's Island Express. Have you played that one?
Is it the one that's like almost like pinball?
It's a pinball Metroidvania.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it. I haven't played that one either.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's, just
That one out.
different, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the actual episode, we got some server maintenance. We
Yeah,
got.
we do.
I tried to not make any comments this time because I was going to be on it.
I thought you did. Maybe not. Oh,
Did
maybe
I?
that was on Twitter. Maybe
Did
that was
I?
on Twitter.
You know, I might have just out of this habit, I guess. But I like tried to not make any comments so that you didn't just only read my comments. And sometimes I'll listen to an episode and it'll be like, Jefftroidvania says again. I'm like, sorry.
No, we
Not
appreciate it.
sorry.
We appreciate
Yeah.
any and all interactions. But yeah, we got 137 subs on YouTube now.
Yeah, I think
That's
that went
pretty
up like
exciting.
10 from the last episode.
Yeah, I might have told my subscribers for my birthday that I wanted them to check out the podcast YouTube. So
Nice.
might have got a couple from there. And we did officially start the Patreon, and Jeff was the first patron. We
I
have
didn't think I was going to be.
yeah, no, that's awesome. We have another one, Mikey the Time Wizard. Is that what he goes by?
Yeah, Mikey the RPG King.
Okay. Well, he signed up for the early access section, but we have not started recording early access. So you might have to wait a little bit to get early access. Might be like a week or two. But
Yeah, but
We
we'll,
will
we'll
get
make
there.
sure. Yeah, we already have a plan for it and everything. We just need to get there.
yeah. And make sure you drop reviews on Spotify, Apple, Google. We're also on Amazon Music now.
Yeah, not just any reviews, 5-star reviews.
Yeah, 5-star reviews. We got a 4-star review. There was no written response, and it's probably because Cheesy said Mario sucks on the last episode.
Oh, I was gonna blame it on you because I just feel like that's an easy out.
But yeah, leave us 5-star reviews to offset that 4-star. And
Whoever you are, write your 4-star review. Let us know why.
Great podcast, but one of the hosts just loves that Mario Edition Switch coming out.
oh my god, he said it was nice. It looked nice. Meat Rider.
Oof.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I'll be there later. All right, so let's get into this. The first thing I need to ask, this is a new thing for guests. I just thought of it. Well, I've probably been thinking about this before. But Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World?
Oh, jeez.
So I'm gonna break your heart and say that Super Mario World is better in my opinion. But
Yes.
that might be nostalgia for me because Super Mario World was huge. It was like one of the first Nintendo games I played. So
Yeah.
I'm actually going to
So-
start a tally in this little Google Doc. So,
they're
I
very
mean,
different games though, because like I feel like Mario Bros. In general, just the series in general was more about the levels, and Mario World is more about the overworld than the individual levels were. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a very different experience, even though it's 2D side-scrolling platformer.
So I don't know what it was, since I always got to give a update on my homework. I'm going to do it for myself because for Johnny's birthday, which was yesterday, happy birthday, Johnny.
Happy birthday, Johnny.
Thank you.
I decided that I would beat Super Mario Bros. 3. I was on World 8 and I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. And I beat it and I was happy that I beat it. And then I was like, I kind of want to play Super Mario World now just to see what it's like after playing Super Mario Bros. 3. And I, no joke, immediately was having more fun.
Wow. This is so painful to listen to. Because Super Mario Bros. 3 is like, it's so special. Not just to me, but just like in general. What it did and how it was received and like how it could, just the power-ups are fantastic. The levels are fantastic.
I don't know, man. Like, I honestly don't think it has aged well. And like a lot of
You're wrong.
that game, excuse my language, is a lot of
Whoa!
Write that timestamp down.
Whoa!
Got to edit that one out.
It wasn't me.
11.
It wasn't me, guys.
It's just like a lot of nonsense that happens. Like the smallest thing could touch Mario's big toe and he dies. And like it's so unpredictable too from enemies. Like, I don't know, man. I just did not enjoy it as much as I am already enjoying Super Mario World. But I will admit, Super Mario World is easier than 3.
Yeah, true. Because they knew people like you were going to play it 20 years down the line and be like, Super Mario Bros. 3 is so hard.
Yeah, but Super Mario World, look, it's so inviting.
They're like,
Super
this
Mario
is for cheesy.
Spoilers for a 30-year-old game. Super Mario Bros. 3 probably is the best Bowser fight.
Is it really a spoiler alert?
Yeah, no, it's just a joke.
You fight Bowser in Mario.
Wow, you really think that it has the best Bowser fight?
Yeah, I mean, all the other ones are like jump on his. Well, I guess like jump on his head or like throw items at him. This one you have to like make him kill himself, which is so clever.
Huh. Okay. I mean, I think you can argue that with like Super Mario Galaxy. I mean, you have to get him to go in a certain direction in order for him.
Yeah, but you still have to like hit him with stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay. I don't know. That's interesting. I would like to hear what people have to say about what is their favorite Bowser fight. But anyway, that's my update. Super Mario World is better. Jeff agrees. Let's get this show on the road.
All right. Oh my goodness, this is a very long comment.
It is. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah. We'll talk about Starfield later, but let's get into some comments first.
I made sure that we have some Starfield comments in here, so we're good. Scribicious, please let us know how to say your name.
I think it's Scribicious.
How do you say it?
I think it's
Scribicious. How do you say it?
Scribicious.
Scribicious. Let us know. Episode 19. This one's a goodie. I'll keep it brief so all my patch notes get a shot on air. Video games, art, or product. After working on an artist's Hamming Lear documentary, I lean toward product, like furniture, cars, devices, iPhone, silverware, toys, board games, etc. They all go through a creative process, but are more mass-produced. What determines game prices and value? Production costs, the platform, which can affected due to different development and distribution costs, editions such as limited, special, or collector editions, region due to market fluctuations, reputation, and branding of the game. Supply and demand marketing strategy all play a role. Also, consumer perception plays a role in pricing. How consumers perceive the value of the game, considering aspects like gameplay experience, replayability, content, a strong player base, genre/personal preferences, culture, and nostalgic appeals such as Super Mario Bros. And yes, developers and publishers all know how their target audience views the value. Ultimately, consumers might set game prices. No, artwork equates to intention, design, aesthetic, context, limited editions, originality, and the creator's intent. My question for you, Jeff, do you see video games as art or as a product?
Well, firstly, that
Mhm.
was a lot,
It was a
and
It
lot.
was a
Yeah.
lot.
nothing against the person that commented that, because that was very well thought through.
Yeah.
But I was getting a little lost at some point. But I would say, I'd say video games are art. That's
Mhm.
Video games and movies are weird art because they are also mass produced like a product. But the actual game itself is art, in my opinion.
Mhm. It was interesting. I actually read an article today about how 2023 is a bad year for gaming,
What?
which was a great headline. But the actual article itself was how video game companies are suffering and developers are suffering, and the people that are working on these games and layoffs, and that uh they're putting in their hard time, and games don't come out when they're supposed to, and
Mhm.
so it's just been basically crunch. um and one of the points that they pointed out is like, we haven't had a new Rockstar game since Red Dead Redemption 2, and within that time Marvel has put out 15 different movies.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, but
true.
they're still making like an astronomical amount of money off of GTA 5.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah,
been
and
making money
that
off of GTA 5 since the Xbox 360 PS3 era.
mhm.
That game's been out for a very, very long time.
But that was basically what the article was saying, is that it doesn't matter how long GTA 6 is going to take, because they're going to make their money in tenfolds, right? Like they're going to make so much that they don't even know what to do with it. But that's not going to be for every developer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
So,
mean
Makes
there's
sense.
ones that are very profitable, like Nintendo is very profitable, PlayStation's
mhm.
their video game division is very profitable. But you know, some of these other like who just shut down? The one that made the new Saints
uh,
Row game?
BioWare.
No.
No, I don't remember what the developer's name was.
But they were developers of Saints Row. They've been around for 30 years and
Mhm.
they shut their door. They closed their doors because
Mhm.
I mean, I know that Saints Row did not sell well. That the new
Mhm.
one, the reboot or whatever it was.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you. I think video games are art, no matter how you look at it, even if they are being mass produced. Like, that is, art is anything that pulls at your emotions, or gets you feeling something. And I think video games definitely do that.
I would say I would add maybe some games are product. Maybe some games like, and I
Hmm.
don't want to piss off anybody who plays these games. Games
Call
like
of Duty.
Madden, yeah, Call of Duty, Battlefield, FIFA, any sports game really that comes out every year. Uh, you only need to update a sports game once every like 5 years and just update the rosters with a DLC. But they release a brand new full price title every year that
And it's not like
almost
they're
does
not
nothing different.
making money because they have the ultimate teams or whatever they're called in those games, the card packs, and they're making money like hand over fist on those things.
Yeah.
That's where most of their money comes from. And yeah, I mean I agree. I think those are seen more as like you said, products, and they're only to generate revenue.
That's not to say that plenty of people play those games and have a lot of fun playing them. So, I mean, all the power to you. If those are the games you play, buy them and play them.
I was
So they
just
keep
playing
making.
Madden yesterday. I played Madden like yesterday because football started, and I always have to make the Eagles win a Super Bowl to feel something.
Can you make the Broncos just win a game?
The Eagles at least won yesterday. Jeff, are you an NFL fan?
I don't follow any sports. I'm very
Oh,
much a nerd.
okay.
That's okay. You don't need that
Yes.
stress in your life. That
Oh no,
that, that
yeah.
makes a lot of sense, actually. That's why you're so calm, is because you don't follow any sports.
I
Right.
saw a meme. It was like All right, it's time. It's time for me. It's that time of year where a team that doesn't even know I exist is gonna dictate my mood for 4 months.
I was at my friend's house yesterday. We were to watch football, and I was talking to my wife before it, and she's like, "Who's playing?" I'm like, "I have no idea, couldn't tell you." And then we got there, and I'm like, "Who's playing?" And my friend's just like, "I don't know, basically everybody." Like, oh, that helps. That really helps.
You could just name some animal and you'll probably be
Yeah,
right.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
My
two
the,
animals.
the reason why I got into it and I like football a lot and I like baseball a lot, but like I realize it's because my family like ingrained it into my brain. Like my nephew just had a birthday party. He's 7 years old. A couple weeks ago, and I was there, and like a few of my aunts were there, and my dad was there. They were all like upset, or I don't know about upset is the right word, but they were all checking the score of the Phillies game like constantly. Like they weren't interacting. They were just like looking on their phone trying to see how the Phillies were doing. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's where that comes from. But
You want to read
anyway.
the next comment?
Yeah, so these are from the Discord. I don't think we said to join the Discord yet, but you should.
Mm-hmm.
We need, yeah, there's cool people in there. And thanks for all the
Yeah.
birthday wishes in there. I appreciate it. So this is from Turtley78. Video games might be the one best value for money products around. For example, Tears of the Kingdom is worth arguably $1 or so per hour, and even games like Metroid Dread are less than $10 per hour, comparing this to a movie which might be $5 to $15 an hour, depending on how long it is. So, Jeff, you played Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that was worth the $10 increase?
I don't know if it was worth the $10 increase. I think they did a lot to make it not exactly the same as Breath of the Wild. They added enough things that it felt like a new game. Uh, $60? Absolutely. I'm not sold on the idea that it was worth $70.
I
Although
really,
I only paid like $40 for it because I got eShop credit at Costco for like $20 off for $100, and then I bought the vouchers for that $100, and then I bought 2 games, so I got it for like $40, which I
there,
think it's a great deal. But I mean, if you can't do that, I don't know, 70 is, I don't know.
there's a
Yeah.
cynical part of me that makes me think that they increased it to $70 to promote the game vouchers to get more people into their digital ecosystem.
That makes sense.
Because like when you buy one digital game, it's not like you're gonna stop. Like you're just gonna be buying digital games from now on. You're not really gonna alternate.
Yeah. It also saves them money so they don't have to make game cases, and which is, I know that that's the direction that we're headed. It's the truth. It's hard to admit, but like I get it from a business standpoint. Like they're just saving money that way.
All right,
But
they mentioned a movie.
What was the movie?
No, they just mentioned movies.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think some movies are worth what you pay to see them at.
I
Yeah.
agree, but that's actually, I don't know if it's a law or just like a unwritten rule or something that would, if you, especially in the theaters when you go see a movie, that a movie has to cost the same one ticket for any movie, because movie theaters were charging less money for the movies they thought were going to be bad, and if in that, because they charged more for other movies, people thought those were the good movies and only went to see those. So prices were kind of like regulated in that sense.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that's why you pay like one price for a ticket, and then you just go see the movie you buy the ticket for, and you don't pay like $3 for like the CGI movie that someone pumped out for like, $500,000, and instead of paying like $50 to go see like the big time production.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think ticket prices have been going up here. I think I'm at like $16 for a normal non 3D movie.
Only 2 dimensions.
Yeah, and then then they release I went to see Ninja Turtles, and it's already out on digital. Like they came out a month ago.
But like, okay, so based off of the comment that was made, how many hours did you put into Tears of the Kingdom, Jeff?
I don't know. I could probably pull it up and tell you. I don't know offhand. I didn't finish it.
Oh,
I got caught up in other games, and then I just never went back to it.
Wow.
I think that's
Not
how
a
a lot
real
of
gamer.
No, I think that's how a lot of people are. At least when I talk to them about Tears of the Kingdom, it's either that there were more games that they just moved on to, or it's just so good that they don't want to finish it. Like they don't want the journey to be over.
Yeah, but you could still play after the fact.
Sure.
That being said, I haven't played since I rolled credits.
That's what I was going to say.
But I haven't. I don't know. I don't know if I would have played it if I didn't roll credits. Like, there's so much out right now.
Yeah. Well, you almost quit at one point.
I did. There is a part that I did not like that much. It's still a 10 out of 10 game.
We got a comment from No Less Guy. Surprise FOMO was not mentioned in this discussion, as it helps contribute to the amount of money that the online gaming community spends when there's 2 to 3 games a month always being touted, and the desire to be part of the circle. The idea of the prices then rears its ugly head. Without social media, I would only be playing 3 to 5 games a year like we did in the old days. But now I feel the desperate desire to play games the day they're released so I can be part of the conversation. Video games are made to make a profit. They seem expensive now because the community is spending more regularly. Also, I will buy a Nintendo side-scrolling platform because they have proved for decades that they are capable of bringing a polished touch that's unmatched. It's their ultimate wheelhouse, and I know what I am getting, even without knowing. A good time.
I agree. I mean, I agree what he said. I think we've talked about how I buy games to make content on. Jeff, you make content. Do you get games just so you can make content, and then once it's out of the zeitgeist, you just stop making content on it?
I haven't really been doing that. I've been trying to just make content on the games that I do buy, and then if a game's on like Game Pass or something, I'll play it and I'll make a video. But yeah, I don't have that money to spend. I can't afford that. And to add to the FOMO thing, I feel like FOMO, like you guys had an episode on nostalgia. And I feel like FOMO is like the opposite, in the opposite direction. It's almost like nostalgia keeps you playing old games, so FOMO makes you keep playing new games and buying new games, even though you could be playing games that you already have. So it's like almost the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't know what FOMO means, it's fear of missing out. I don't know if we have to say that.
Are you really mansplaining to our audience right now?
No, I'm just like, some people don't know. I was you talking to my partner, and I said something that I thought was just normal to say, and she's like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah, that's acceptable, but our audience haven't even said like, "What's FOMO?" yet. You know, we haven't even got the response
yet. I'm being proactive. But I just bought Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5. Have not loaded it up yet.
Were you talking about the customization in Baldur's Gate? I thought
there's a lot.
I thought,
in Baldur's Gate.
I haven't done anything. I mean, I haven't loaded it up yet.
Oh, you haven't even started playing?
Yeah, I haven't started yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna spend like 3 minutes on the character customization.
We know.
Maybe.
We know.
We're going into Starfield here soon, but I spent 5 minutes on Starfield character customization, and I have not even changed my ship. I mean, I haven't played a ton. I still haven't played, like, since last week. I put maybe a half hour into it.
The more you talk, the less we are learning, or the more we're learning about how little you have played.
I played 7.5 hours. That's what the little thing says
Yeah.
on my save file.
But it's just funny to hear
work
you.
is
'Cause you're
busy,
like,
man.
"Well,
I don't have a ton of time right
I'm playing this
now.
game, but I haven't created a ship. Well, I actually haven't even created a character. Yeah, I haven't even
Hold on.
unpackaged the game."
Hold on. So I played for 7.5 hours, and I fast
Uh-huh.
traveled for 7 hours and 29 minutes.
Were you trying to find Pluto? Spend that 7 hours finding Pluto.
Yeah, that's all 7 hours just flying to Pluto.
Yeah. All right. I think we are getting into the Starfield section. Would you like to start, Johnny?
Well, all right. So before we get to the questions,
Okay.
Jeff, how do you feel about the game?
Well, if I were to pull up my time played, it would probably say 3 days.
Oh my
and
goodness.
A few more hours. So, which is not anywhere near some of the stuff I've seen people put on Twitter. So one guy put a screenshot where he had 100 hours. I mean, I gotta work. I got, you know, I have other
You spend time
things.
with the family sometimes.
Yeah, you know, I
yeah.
gotta. But I completely feel like the $100 I spent on the premium digital edition, totally worth it. 100% worth the price.
Now, you are a big Bethesda person. And why is that? Like, where does that love come from?
I first played Morrowind back on the Xbox. And I remember that being it's just a grand experience especially compared to games back then. Like really, especially on console back then, there wasn't really any games like that. And then I just have played every single one they've made so far, and it's just something about it that's just the gameplay loop is just so good. I don't know, it just keeps pulling me in.
So, as far as like the games that have been out by Bethesda, where do you rank Starfield?
It quickly became my favorite.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah.
All right. So we should get into these YouTube comments then.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna like these YouTube comments.
I'm ready for them.
So this is
any criticism anyone has about it, I probably have myself. So go for it.
Oh.
All right, so this is from Gothram. The thing I loved about Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls in general is in between cities when you're traveling back and forth or just exploring, there was so much in the world, like running into random bandits or people in and around their homes, out in the middle of nowhere or in little towns. Starfield is literally just questing in cities and abandoned stations. If you try to run around and explore planets, from what I've seen, they're lifeless. Most of the dialogue options end with the same result, so they just let you think that you have freedom of choice. I'm 20 hours in, and as of right now, I give the game 7 out of 10. It's fun, but I kind of regret buying it. I mean, all right, so from what I've played of the game, like I said, I'm only 7 hours in. It is a lot of fast traveling between quest points. But I'm not doing I haven't done much of the side content, so I'm just doing like the main quest. So I'm just like traveling. They tell me to go here, I just go there. Like I'm not like flying to different planets around.
I suppose I just been playing it differently than everybody else. I will start going on a quest, like a side quest, main quest, whatever. It'll say go to this star system. I'll go there and I'll see a space station sitting there, and I'll be like, I gotta find out what that is. And I fly towards it, and then you can hail it, and if you don't get anything back or get like any kind of weird message back, there's stuff there. So you dock on the space station, fight a bunch of enemies, find a bunch of stuff, and then I leave and then end up landing on the planet to go to do the quest. But then I'm like, well, what's over there? And I just go in that direction, and I will literally I'd be like, I meant to jump on this game and do this one quest, and I'll be like 4 hours in just doing anything else besides that quest.
That's funny. So you mentioned space stations. I must be an idiot, or I'm doing it wrong, because I cannot figure out how to dock these things. Like, I know you have to put the scanner on, but I just keep running into it, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
You have to be less than 500 meters away, and then when you're looking at it, you press A, and it gives you options. It gives you A to hail it and X to dock to it.
Okay, that's why I think I wasn't pressing A. Like I was just like, oh, it should pop up to say dock or hail, and it
It does,
just
yeah.
wasn't.
The game doesn't really teach you that. That's one criticism that I've heard and I agree with. The game doesn't really tell you how to play it unless you jump into the main story right away. But if you get on the ship, when you get the ship and you do whatever else, you're learning on absolutely on your own time. The game does not teach you along the way. And actually, there's tutorial things that pop up in the top that only come up to teach you things when you're doing it in the main quest, and you never see them if you're doing them otherwise.
Oof.
So if you just go off on your own, like I did, I had to learn everything about the game myself.
That's kind of
So,
why I
but
was wanting to do the main story because I'm like, I need to learn the mechanics of this game before I try to do anything else. Because I've never really played a Bethesda RPG. I played some Skyrim, but I never really played Fallout and what else? Oblivion. So
Our next comment is from Zerial9148, that I think the issue is bigger than just the space travel. You fast travel everywhere in a way you didn't in Skyrim. There's not much appreciating of majestic landscapes or exploring and finding uncharted hotspots. You just move between loading screens. And the disjointed, unpleasant feeling of doing so is magnified by how bad the UI is, especially the map UI. So
what about
again, it sounds like what you were explaining is not what you were feeling. Like you feel like you are exploring and finding like these majestic areas. Is that true?
so the game, it feels like the game really wants you to land your ship exactly where the quest marker is. So a lot of people tend to do that. They'll land right next to the quest marker, they'll do the quest, and then they'll be like, well, let's go to the next quest, and then they'll leave. But I land, I pick a spot on the planet anywhere, and I land. And I get out of the ship, and I just find stuff. So there is plenty of exploration if you go out of your way to find it. But the game doesn't make you explore like in the same way that like Skyrim does, because you can't fast travel to Rorikstead without having to have been there, and you can't get there without walking there. But in Starfield, you could fast travel basically anywhere. So if you want to, so you go to the planet and you see like the thing you need to get to, you can land on exactly that spot. So they do take away from some of the exploration that way, but you can play it in a way that lets you explore. But I think most people aren't doing that.
yeah, and I think that was a quality of life thing because they probably thought that if they just let you on your own, like explore wherever, that's just going to get overwhelming.
Yeah.
And they give you the option to fast travel, but then there's other things that like the inventory is just kind of like overwhelming, and you don't really know what anything does. And I get encumbered like immediately. So
It's the Bethesda game where you get over encumbered the quickest, I think. I think they were going, I mean, they were going for a more realistic sci-fi. So I think the things in the items in the game weigh more and you can carry less. So I think what they're trying to do is either give you a sense of you need to really figure out what's worth what and to drop things that aren't worth what you want it to be, and or to go with like the traits like extrovert and like have a companion that will carry stuff for you, and that like gives you bonuses. So you they give it's like a different way to play. But yeah, it I've found myself in the very beginning like trying to pick up everything, and you only get like halfway through like a base before you're just walking slow.
So do you prefer this kind of gameplay? Like, would you want to see Bethesda do the same thing or kind of go back to what it was in like Skyrim?
I guess depends on the game, because if they were gonna for the Elder Scrolls 6, I don't want to see the same way they're doing it now. I'd want it to be more like Skyrim or more like Oblivion, where you have
Uh-huh.
when you have one open map and you could travel wherever you want just by foot. Like I wouldn't want you to be able to fast travel literally everywhere right off the bat, or like to only be able to really get to certain places by fast traveling. I don't think that's a good idea for that or for Fallout. But if they make
Hmm.
a Starfield 2, down the line. I think they could still make it like this, but I'm sure there's probably a lot of changes they wanted to do. They probably can if they make a sequel.
Now, like, was it advertised that it was going to be kind of open world and that you were going to be able to fly to all of these different planets instead of just fast traveling, or was that our own perception of what we picked up the game was going to be, but they never actually said?
I think maybe it's a little bit of both. I know Todd Howard is very fantastical with how he explains his games.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of people call him, they're saying he's a liar and all this stuff. Well, maybe he's not a liar. He's just he's a salesman that embellishes his product.
Yeah.
But he called it unprecedented exploration. So I think a lot of people had some kind of expectation of being able to go wherever you want at any time. And I guess you kind of can, but there are limitations. But also, he also said in interviews that like there's certain things they wanted to add, like you can't fly the ship directly manually down onto a planet or from the planet up into space. And they said that would take another like 2 or 3 years to build that. But they decided to focus on the RPG aspect. But there were still a lot of people who started Starfield and tried to fly into a planet, even though they made it very clear that was never going to be a thing. So I don't know where the communication got lost there, but
you're saying there was a communication error?
Yeah, there was.
Nice. We got to get a little ding whenever that happens.
I don't know. I think maybe it's the brown jacket is to blame whenever Todd Howard is speaking. I think it has control over him. And he doesn't actually get to talk. He's just a puppet.
I mean,
Brown Jacket is the
Brown
puppet master.
Jacket is a sentient being. It's
Yeah.
a haunted jacket.
I think Starfield is a case of people setting expectations that they could never realistically hit, right? Because they were thinking that Microsoft has been kind of struggling with their games lately. Like there haven't been phenomenal games like PlayStation has. So everybody was expecting Starfield to be this like generational defining game, and maybe it is, but maybe it's not what people were hoping for, or they put Bethesda on this pedestal because of Skyrim and Fallout and Oblivion, but there was no possible way that Starfield could have lived up to those expectations. The only ones that could do that are Nintendo with Tears of the Kingdom. That's
next?
it for the
the Starfield section.
So, there was no. He didn't drop an F-bomb. What could I say to get him to drop an F-bomb? I did
calm, man.
I did.
Every single thing you could say that's negative about Starfield is something that I've considered and thought about and seen on Twitter already. So,
I did want to say that I chose the trait adoring fan with that.
Me too.
With that guy, and man, that is an ego boost. He's like, I can't believe I'm in the same room with you. Like, you're amazing. Every time I get on the ship.
When you trade gear, he says that he's legally signed over all of his belongings to you.
And I'm like, yeah, that's of course that's the one I chose. I don't know.
I actually usually pick introvert, and I usually have no companions, but this time I decided to switch it up. So I have adoring fan follow me around.
Nice.
But, yeah. Cheesy, I know you don't have an Xbox, but like, I don't know if you've seen anything that makes you want to get it.
I mean, I don't know. So to me, I guess I would have loved the idea of it being more open world than just fast traveling, because I think that is, going back to like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, that is kind of what makes the fun of it for me, and the joy of being distracted. And it sounds like there are some of those distractions like you were explaining, Jeff, but like the way that I had perceived Starfield, I think it's kind of how everybody else did, which is like get lost and discover. Like I think maybe that is the issue, and I could be in my own bubble, but I really haven't seen too many videos of people going, "Wow, like this is crazy. I had no idea that this was in this game." And
You didn't
like
see the
it's
potatoes
not.
video?
I did see the potatoes. Yeah,
Oh, the
that was
20,000
great.
potatoes. I
Yeah.
think you just maybe have to just wait for me to make some videos on it, and then you'll see
Okay.
that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah.
see, here's the thing that no one really talks about is that in Starfield you can travel to like dozens of real stars in the Milky Way galaxy
Mm.
in their planetary system. So that's not like Bethesda didn't make those things up. Like it's all really in the observable universe. But you can go to any star system and land on any planet at any time whenever you want. So it is really open world. It's open galaxy
Hmm.
in that sense. But the game guides you to do quests in a way where people don't go out of their way to explore it. So I got the achievement, and it was a diamond achievement because not a lot of people got it, but it was like, congratulations, you've visited 20 star systems.
Wow.
And I was like, that's awesome. And I said that to somebody, and they were like, you went to 20 different ones? They're like, I went to 3. Like, I'm like, by the time I even mentioned that, I'd probably had gone to 10 more. 'Cause I just will be like, what's in this star system? And I'll go there and I'll just find random stuff. Like a
Yeah.
guy that makes a joke about Uranus, and another guy that tries to sell you extended warranties on your ship, and
That's
a casino, a space casino.
Hmm.
that was in Star Wars.
I said Star Wars. Yeah.
There is one place I want to go to. I mean, it's not that like fancy, but it's Mars because Doom is a Bethesda property. They did tweet something about Mars, but I don't know. I haven't seen if there's any Doom stuff on Mars.
I've been to Mars plenty of times, but I didn't actually like look around. I only went to there's like one main like mining station you go to for some quests. That's all I've been to.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
we'll
so
have to
that's what I'm on
land
the lookout
randomly on it.
for. Enough about Starfield. We're Nintendo
yeah,
fanboys.
The names Jared says Mario Golf Super Rush would definitely have been easier to accept as a $40 game. I definitely think this idea that side scrollers are inherently worthless is really silly. I remember people saying Metroid Dread should have been $40. I don't understand how people can see that game or something like Super Mario Bros. Wonder as anything but a full $60 experience. And yes, I agree that there's also this weird idea that indie games are worth less simply because they're indie games. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk was easily worth the $40 and probably could have been more expensive with how complete of an experience it was. Do you think the Metroid Dread is a full price game?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think, well, I'm always pointing out when it is on sale, which is not a lot, but
Uh-huh.
I think it is worth $60. If you went and bought it today, I think so. But I mean, I played through it on every difficulty probably twice. Like, I mean, it's just like one of those games that I play a lot. But I mean, there's also like he was saying, there's a lot of indie games that are probably $60 games, but because they're an indie studio, people don't want to pay $60. They don't think it's worth it. It's like how many people delved into dozens of hours of Hollow Knight
Mm-hmm.
that you paid $15 for?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's true.
That
That
game's
game should
way
be
worth more than $15.
well. What I mean, like Silk Song, maybe $30.
It might be. I mean, maybe we'll if we get to buy it ever.
Yeah, if that game exists. I don't know if that game exists.
I don't know. I feel like we're being lied to.
But yeah, we did
Metroid
talk about
Prime
indie
4.
games last time about them seemingly not being, or people see them as not worth as much as, these AAA studios. But like I put more time into Vampire Survivors than I have, like, I don't even know, Starfield. Yeah, definitely. I definitely put more time into Vampire Survivors than Starfield.
I've also played a lot of Vampire Survivors. It's easy to play a lot of Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, because it's a 30-minute run,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but like oh, I could do better. I found this Evo that like I want to try out. Like it's so good. Oh man, it's worth $5. it's everybody better buy Vampire Survivors.
That's
Well, okay, so you
a $60 game you can get for $5
Oh, easily.
easily.
Johnny, you played Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Do you think it could have been more than $40?
It looks like a PlayStation 1 game.
But like
a
aesthetically,
design,
isn't that what they were going for?
Yeah, but I don't know. I haven't played a ton of it. It is really good what I've played of it. But it feels like Jet Set Radio. And Jet Set Radio came out on with the Xbox, or I forget what it came out on. So
Dreamcast, right?
Well, Jet Grind Radio was on Dreamcast. Jet Set Radio Future was on Xbox. Which I think
okay.
Bomb Rush is probably supposed to be more like Jet Set Radio Future, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it feels like it's a game from that era. So no, I don't think it would be 60.
Do you like the $40 price tag?
No, that's high. Because it's an indie game now. But
Oh no.
trying to think of like other indie games that got that high, I can't think of many. Like $30 is the cap. Like Blasphemous 2 came out as $30. And that's a 2D pixelated Metroidvania.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like Hades, I think
it's 25.
20. Yeah, 25.
That's worth it easily.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, more people should play indie games. Like it's just
100%.
I showed a video of my collection on TikTok, and people are like, "Oh, that looks like a lot of mobile games."
Jeez.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's awful.
We'll list the rune.
Oh, I was just gonna say, speaking of, high
value content,
high valued indie games. This is
a AAA developer. What are you talking about? Willis the Rune Knight said, "How do I get on this show and get to debate Johnny about how valuable the Switch calculator is?" I don't know what he's saying, because I think that thing's worth infinite amount of money. That is my cash cow. That is my cash cow.
It's an
like
incalculable
literally
amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think like the amount of money I made off of that, I don't think I could even use that calculator to calculate.
I think you got to give some context, because even though it may be pretty well known that you have a calculator game on Switch,
It's not a game, it's an actual calculator.
I know, but that's
effectively it's a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for context, if you don't know me, I've made countless videos about this calculator on Nintendo Switch. It's just a calculator. It's like the same one that you can get on your phone. It's $10. Like that's the full retail price. It's usually on sale for like $2. And I do not recommend it unless you're making content or like you're trying to make profit off of it, because it is not. It's just a calculator. Just use your phone. But yeah, it was a good investment for me.
Mm-hmm. Because like every other video has the calculator game in your in those videos, and you always get somebody's attention with it.
Yeah, like bro really bought calculator. Bro really spent $10 on a calculator. They should sponsor me.
They should. Yeah, especially like if you're using it for your job. With all the taxes that you do, you just pull out. Have you ever done that? Have you started doing taxes in front of someone and then said, "Oh, hold on, let me pull out my calculator," and you just pull out your whole Switch?
That would be hilarious, like prank at work. Like I just go into a meeting, and I pull out my Switch. I'm like, "Oh no, don't worry, I'm not playing games. It's my calculator."
A calculator on here. All right, well. Moving into Twitter or X, I guess it's X at this point, because who cares? We asked about full price games. Clockworth Clone said basic economics tell us that the market determines a product's value. Therefore, a product is merely worth what people are willing to pay for it, which in case In which case, Mario Wonder is undoubtedly worth $60. It may even be worth 70.
It probably could sell for 100, honestly.
It probably could. I mean, that is something
Right.
that I was kind of talking about last week. Is like, it is a piece of art, and when you have like the name behind it or the artist behind it, that piece of art goes up in value.
And Nintendrones will buy it, anything.
Right. You know about that.
I don't know anything about that. I'm not a fanboy. If Mario Wonder was $100,
Mm-hmm.
I would still buy it.
Would you really?
Yes. It's a Mario game.
I mean, okay, you have the luxury of buying that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that I am in a position where I can afford to buy it for $100.
I don't think that I would. I think I would wait for it to. I was gonna say
It
be
would
on
never
sale,
go on
but
sale.
it's a Nintendo game, so yeah, I would probably have to wait a long time.
Okay, what if it's
buy it.
$100 physical, but you could use a game voucher on it?
Shoot, how much? So that would be
It
$70.
would be $50.
Well, $50.
Yeah, so you would get 2 game vouchers for $100.
But that would be a Mario game that I would have to own digitally. I guess I would do it. I don't know. How would you feel, Jeff?
Oh, so what are you asking? How I feel if it was $100?
If it was $100, but then you had the option of just, well, you already buy most of your games digitally, huh?
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. If I could get it for $50 on a voucher, yeah, it wouldn't bother me. I'd do it that way.
All right, but if it was $100 digitally,
I wouldn't spend $100. I spent $100 on Starfield. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think I could spend $100 on.
So you said you have Game Pass, right?
Yep.
Did you buy the digital version, like the $100 version, or did you get the upgrade?
No, I bought the full thing.
Okay. Because I bought the upgrade for $40 or $35, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And just so I could play it a few days early. So, it's interesting. And they say people don't buy games on Game Pass.
I probably should have done it that way, because then I could play it on Game Pass, and then like down the road, like when all the DLC have already come out, there'll be the Game of the Year edition or whatever they want to call it, and that'll have all of it for $60 instead of me just spending it on the base game. But I'm a sucker, and I just went ahead and bought it. So
Because it's a Bethesda game. You're
I
proving
just
our
know-
point, Jeff.
I just know that I'm gonna. I've already played this game for 3 days. It's been out for a week.
I get it. All right, so I don't know. Like, do you like Mario? Like, are you gonna get Mario Wonder?
I don't, but not right away.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that was possible. That people could not buy Nintendo games day one.
No, I'm not gonna buy it right away. I'm gonna buy it eventually, but I already have the Mario RPG remake on pre-order. It was the second game I got Tears of the Kingdom and that on the voucher.
Okay.
So
nice.
I got that coming up. So like, and then I want to also play Sea of Stars, which is on Game Pass. So it's like, there's just so many games. I have to put a stop to it at some point.
Well, Mario Wonder is going to be like 5 hours. You can beat it in a sitting.
It will be more than that.
Maybe I'll just I'll sign up for GameFly for a month, maybe.
Oh man, it's been like a month and a half since we mentioned GameFly. They're never going to sponsor us.
Hashtag not a sponsor. Hashtag be a sponsor.
Well, it's interesting because the next comment is also about Mario Wonder. It's from Xanadude, who is a fantastic creator. Maybe we'll have to reach out. Xanadude, if you're listening, let us know if you want to be on. Tears of the Kingdom is for sure a $70 game in my opinion, but I will never pay $60 for a 2D Mario game, no matter how good it just feels like you get a lot less game comparatively.
I definitely think that it's the experience that you get with it. And I think maybe that is also part of Nintendo's like whole selling point is the memories that you make along the way. That sounds really dumb, but honestly, I think that is kind of what they want, especially with Mario Wonder. It's a 4-player local co-op game and kind of online, but more local co-op. And I think it's just, yeah, it's the experience, the new items and characters and like enemies, and they're hoping that it, especially with Wonder, I think they're hoping that this is a Mario game that you have never played before, and that's why they have it priced so high. But I don't know. I mean, like, I think honestly, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the price. If it is a $60 game, like it's going to be quality. Like somebody said up above, like that is their wheelhouse. Like this is not their first time making a 2D side scroller or just a 2D platformer. It's going to be good. But what were you going to say, Jeff?
Sorry, I was gonna say you can be Yoshi and also ride Yoshi.
It's true.
So,
that's their selling point.
$70 game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am surprised that they did not make this one 70. Because it's a Mario game.
I feel like that would just totally just dilute the whole, like, we put all this time into Tears of the Kingdom to make it $70. If they just made the next big game $70, it would just be like, I don't know. It would just ruin the whole reasoning behind it, I guess. It'd just be silly. I feel like they probably need to make like the next 10 games $60 and then they'll start to like sprinkle it in.
Well, they made Pikmin 4 60 because they want people to actually buy that game.
Which, I mean, it sounds like people did.
Maybe. We'll know soonish.
Yeah.
It's selling well in Japan. It's selling well in Japan. We don't know how it's doing over here.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I get what Xanadu is saying, but I think that I'm going to have a lot of fun, especially playing it with my wife. Though she does like playing Yoshi, and it does kind of suck that like you can't use items or become an elephant or like any of that stuff, just because that is a character that is for like an easier mode or accessibility. Like that's cool. But I wish that it would have been an option as to what characters you wanted to choose for that mode. Because like people that want to just play as Yoshi are not going to have the same experience as others that are playing it at like a normal difficulty.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna buy it. I do agree with people that think it should be cheaper because, like, you're gonna get. It's gonna take 5 hours to beat the game. It's gonna take 5 hours.
Here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen. Johnny is saying now that it should be cheaper. The game is gonna come out. He's gonna be like, "Oh, this is definitely worth the $60." Tweet, posted.
Yeah, and then I'll make a TikTok about it, and they'll get all mad at me, and then free engagement. I was like, so these next couple of comments are about Mario and the video that we had posted about how Mario, I think Cheesy said Mario hasn't been represented well on the Switch, which I thought was the hot take, but apparently liking the Mario Switch is a hotter take than that. But Crashing Game Night, Matt said about that, if you're talking about new Mario games, Odyssey and Wonder are it. But if you include ports on Virtual Console, there's a ton on Switch, which there are a ton of Mario games on Switch, and everybody has forgotten about Mario Maker 2, which is also a new Mario game.
Yeah, but I think people kind of forgot about it when it came out. it didn't have the same impact that it did on Wii U.
I mean, I think it's such a cool concept,
Mm-hmm.
but people suck at making Mario levels.
Wow. You just really hurt a lot of people that spent hours making their courses. And
Do you want a hot take?
what's the hot take?
People suck at making Mario courses on Mario Maker, and the ones that are good are Kaizo Mario levels. And I hate Kaizo Mario because you would never have to do what you do in Kaizo Mario in an actual Mario game. It doesn't make you good at Mario games. You're just good at that type of platforming.
What is that? Is that like where you have to like time everything exactly perfectly?
Yeah, where you have to like do shell jumps, which you would never do in a Mario game. You have to like like there's so many mechanics that you would never do in a Mario game. That's why I can't stand it.
Well, okay, to say that you never would do it, I think is wrong, because you can do it, especially in the speedrunning community. But are they asking you to do it? No. It's just people have found a new way to play Mario. I get what you're saying. One of the reasons I'm not a fan of Mario Maker is because I feel the same way. Like, I just want to play like what the developers made, and like they have an understanding of how to make levels and how they want the player to engage with them. I do think that there are some really creative people out there. Like I think his name is Metroid Mike. He made Super Mario Bros. 5 or something.
Yeah, was that what it was called?
Yeah, I mean, those were incredible, and he spent years making those. So you can see like the love of like older Mario games and just his development and how all of that came together. But when it comes to just random people making the levels, sometimes they're just not as good, and I'd rather just play a Mario game that was already like
that's the story
Nintendo.
mode. The story mode of Mario Maker 2 is fun.
Yeah, and that's actually the reason why I have Mario Maker 2 is because they actually made levels where you could go in and play those that were made by people that know what they're doing.
I will say there is one creator on Mario Maker 2 that makes really good levels. Their name's Johnnybo. And Jeff, have you played Mario Maker 2?
No, I know what it is, but no.
You haven't played Mario Maker at all, like the Wii U version or 2?
No. I never had a Wii U, so there's a lot of Wii U games I never played.
Oh, that's why it failed.
Because Jeff didn't buy one. Dang.
So busy playing my Xbox. Didn't even realize it was a thing.
I got a comment, I think we might have got a comment about Wii U on something. Oh yeah. They were talking about the ports and how like if you didn't have a Wii U, the Switch is fantastic for some of those games. Like Super Mario 3D World is phenomenal, and everybody should play it. Jeff, have you played 3D World?
I bought it. And
oh my god,
it's a really good game.
Yeah,
and then they have Bowser's Fury, which is just a great add-on.
Yeah, I think it's the most underrated Mario game, if a Mario game can be underrated.
I get that because of the cat suit. Like when they first announced it, I was like, what is this gimmick? Like obviously it's cats and cats are gonna sell well, and like, you know, it's cats. Like,
it's the best.
It's actually a really good power-up.
It's so fun.
So yeah. And Crashing Game Night is also a great creator and podcaster. So we need to have Matt on. Matt, if you're listening, come on to the show. On Instagram, kind of talking about the... Oh, no, this is different. We were talking
Ubisoft,
about Ubisoft and how you shouldn't buy them on release. Well, that's what Johnny said. I agree with it. Slap a Debasement and which I'm hoping is a I Love You Man reference, because that movie is fantastic. They said, "Man, I've enjoyed some of the older Far Cries and Ghost
Fry
Recon."
fries. That's hilarious.
Oh, that was a that was a typo on my part. Far Cry and Ghost Recon's Ubisoft always embellish with their trailers, but always put out a decent product. Not amazing products, but decent. But you know what would be a good product is Far Cry. Fry Cry. I messed up
Fry
the,
Cry, yeah,
the
that's
joke.
all. Jeff, how do you feel about Ubisoft games?
I agree with the sentiment that you should probably never buy a Ubisoft game right away.
Yeah, I mean,
And
they
it's
go on
unfortunate.
sales.
I do love them, but yeah.
They go on sale so fast. Yeah, I mean, they do have good games. Like they're not like this person said. They're decent. They're not amazing.
Mhm.
They all kind of play the same. All their open worlds are pretty much the same. You climb a tower, unlock the map.
I love Assassin's Creed. I've always loved Assassin's Creed, but I have also always bought Assassin's Creed 2 years after it came out for $10 for the gold edition that has all the stuff. So I mean, it's
And Mirage,
they-
Mirage looks great. We posted a video on when we were talking about Ubisoft, and I was pulling B-roll footage for Mirage, and it looks really good.
it does.
But I am not going to buy it at launch because why? First of all, there's so many other games out, and it's going to go on sale before Christmas.
Yeah, I'll probably be on sale Black Friday.
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Because I think even like Mario plus Rabbids, when that came out last year, that was on sale by Black Friday.
Right away. Yeah. So wait, are you saying that like I forget the name of it, Outlaws? Star Wars Outlaws, I think is the name.
Yeah.
Are
yeah.
Are you gonna wait for that?
That's painful.
Yeah, there it is.
That's painful. Because I love Star Wars. It's like my favorite, one of my favorite IPs.
Uh-huh.
But I'm so torn because it's Ubisoft and I know how that game's going to play. And it's, I hope I'm wrong. But I will buy it day one because it's Star Wars.
I pre-ordered and paid full price for Jedi Survivor,
Mhm.
which I feel like probably wasn't the best idea because I bought Jedi Fallen Order for $6, like 2 weeks
really?
before. Yeah, I played it on Game Pass. Like it was on Game Pass for a while, but I bought it for $6 on the Microsoft Store, like 3 weeks before Jedi Survivor came out. I'm like, I know I want to have this in my library, so I bought it for $6. So the fact that I bought Jedi Fallen Order for $6, and then I went and I paid full price $70. Actually, I think it was more because it was like had extra stuff with the pre-order version. So I paid the full price for it. Now I'm thinking like, wow, I could probably have waited until next year.
I honestly forgot that game came out this year. Like that came out like a couple months ago. 4 months ago.
It came out like 3 days before Tears of the Kingdom or something.
Oh, that's right.
Like a week or something before. It was the end of April, and then like the middle of May, Tears of the Kingdom came out.
I mean, like, do we know if
it.
Survivor is on sale already?
It probably
don't
is. It's
know.
an
It
EA
might be.
game.
Yeah, EA is the same way.
Yeah.
But it's a 3D Metroidvania. So
It's a good game.
Yep.
And it's Star Wars.
yeah. A solid series.
This is me.
Yeah, I think it's going back to Mario again.
Yeah. We're like these episodes are getting longer and longer. We're at an hour and 15 minutes, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
We don't have much left.
Yeah, we don't have much left. I do want to talk about this because there will be no Mario Odyssey slander in this house. So this is from Demon
I
George.
think it's Damien.
Damien
George.
Okay, well, Damien George says Odyssey felt unfinished to me. You're wrong. Like conceptually, I think I get what they were going for, but it didn't feel polished and cohesive enough. New Donk City really fell into Uncanny Valley. I have the concept art book for the game, and some of the much earlier concepts they had in mind to me were much stronger. New Donk originally looked more like Manhattan in the new animated Mario Bros. Movie. Everything felt like it belonged in the same world. I think in later iterations they really wanted to break away from the classic Nintendo aesthetic, hence why some kingdoms just felt a bit out of place. But that's what made it so good. They were so varied. Like you go to a prehistoric kingdom, then you go into the weird food kingdom. Like man,
that's the one that comes to mind for me.
It's so good.
Cool.
Like it's so it's unfinished because they should have added more. They should have gave us DLC. And if the next Mario game isn't Odyssey, like an Odyssey 2, I'm going to feel disappointed because like that was a fantastic game. Give me more.
I agree.
I do kind of agree with what they were saying about the art book, because if you've ever seen the art book, there's a lot of unfinished ideas, or at least like when you look at Toast Arena, there looks like there was a lot more that they wanted to do with it than what was given. But I still don't think that like Odyssey is a bad game. I mean, I enjoyed it all the way through. I think it's that same sense of discovery that we got with Breath of the Wild. So it was cool to kind of see both of Nintendo's big characters kind of have that element of surprise. And yeah, the ending is also very surprising. I think it's just a good time.
You go to the moon.
Yeah, the moon. The moon is a lot of fun.
It has low gravity. That game is just perfect. If Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild didn't exist, that would be the best.
Yeah, and then you finish it, and then they're like, look at all these other moons you can now get.
Yeah.
And then you have like another like 10 hours worth of gameplay.
Yeah.
And where you wake up, you're like, it's a 5-year-old game now, right? I don't know if I want to spoil it. But when you
really
wake up
cool
after the
area.
credits, it's really cool.
Yeah. Crimson Slim says, not to mention the Mario plus Rabbids games hit it out of the park. And this person is right. We actually got that a lot when talking about Mario, because I was saying like, oh, there's Odyssey and Mario Bros. Wonder is coming out. And that's pretty much it of like new Mario games that are out on Switch. And a lot of people mention Mario plus Rabbids. I agree with them 100%. Like I love the Mario and Rabbids games, but I still would count that as just a Ubisoft property. Like, yes, it does involve Mario, but as far as like Nintendo, and I guess I didn't really like clarify that, but that's all that we've gotten is just Odyssey. We're getting Wonder, and I guess Mario Maker 2. We could put Mario Maker 2 in there as a new game. That's about it.
I suppose you gotta ask yourself, are games like Mario and Sonic at the Olympics a Mario game? And if you say no, then I would say that Mario and Rabbids is also not really a Mario game.
I would argue, yeah, I see what you're saying. I would argue like the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is more of a Mario game than Sparks of Hope, because that one kind of is more about the Rabbids than it is about Mario and those characters.
I think a lot of people get caught up on this idea that Nintendo just reuses their IP, you know, just Zelda, Mario, Kirby. But because, you know, Mario has so many games that have his name in the title, like Mario Strikers, Mario Golf. But I don't like when I say I want a Mario game, I want a platformer, you know, 2D or 3D, not a sports game. I want Mario Kart 9 too, but yeah, I want a mainline Mario game, and we don't get them very often.
Yeah.
Mario Paint 2.
There you go.
They kind of are. So you didn't play Mario Maker. They kind of have references to Mario Paint in Mario Maker. It's fantastic. They have the Fly Swatter game.
Mhm.
Oh, that was
I
the
used to love
best.
that as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, they also mentioned like Luigi's Mansion 3 and like I love Luigi probably more than Mario. And so and Luigi's Mansion 3 is a beautiful game. So much fun to play. But no, it's not a Mario game. It's a Luigi game. Give him this respect. You got banned. I didn't know.
Yeah.
You went to Super Nintendo World?
I did, yeah.
Nice. What did you think?
It was a lot.
It was it was a lot. Yeah.
We went for my birthday in March, and it had just opened like 2 weeks before, so it was filled with people,
Mm,
and that coin sound was happening repeatedly from every direction.
it does
And
happen a lot.
there was at any point 7 people in my near vicinity. So we stayed there for like maybe like 20 minutes and we left.
Oh,
We saw some lady crouch into a corner and cry because she was so overwhelmed, and we were like, "Yeah, it's about time to get out of here."
that's disappointing because I've been wanting to go since it opened, but after talking to Crawler and Josh on the Nintendo Powercast and what they said about Nintendo Live, like that sounded like a much better experience for Nintendo fans.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. And I did the ride. I went to Toad's Cafe. Like I did all of it that you could in Super Nintendo World, but I also was lucky enough to go on a day that was like it was a preview event, so there weren't a lot of people. But then after the park opened and I saw all of these videos of like basically how there's no crowd control,
Right.
it would just be a nightmare.
Well, the Universal Studios has the park has like a thing where if there's going to be a lot of people going to a certain area of the park, that you have to like schedule a time to go there,
Mhm.
and they didn't for Mario, for the Super Nintendo World area. So people would just go in. It was just filled with people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll calm down in, a couple of years. And you're
Maybe, I
ready
don't
to
know.
go.
Now, like, it's probably just gonna get bigger.
Yeah, true.
Maybe if they open the one in Florida, we'll have people go to Florida instead of California, because it
Yeah.
should be bigger.
hmm
So this is from Rose Cardinal, and this is talking about the Super Mario Edition Nintendo Switch OLED. It says the matte red is nice, but that should just be a color option, not a special edition. Now, I think, I mean, are they charging more for this?
I don't know if they've said the price.
Because
I guess
Tears of
I
the Kingdom,
just assumed that it would be the same.
because Tears of the Kingdom and I think Splatoon 3 were $360
Yes.
when the normal price is $350.
Yeah.
So I don't know if. Well, now I'm going to the website.
I think though, I get what this person is trying to say is that we've had a lot of color options in the past, and it's kind of surprising that we haven't seen that with the Switch, other than maybe like the Switch lights. There's been a lot of different colors, but you would think that they would want more color options just to make it more personable, and that's like my biggest gripe with the Switch is that it's not really doesn't feel like yours. It just feels like you have the console that everybody else has, but it's not like you don't get to put a theme behind it. You don't get to put covers on it. I guess you can switch out the Joy-Con, and that's kind of like your own personal Switch and the colors that you want on it. Yeah, I don't know. It's with their past consoles. You think that they would have in handhelds that they would do more options like that?
Well, it is $350, so they're not pricing it at those special edition prices, and it's called the Nintendo Switch OLED model Mario Red Edition. So it's not like. I guess it is a special edition. I like it. I think it's clean. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
I would
wrong.
consider it if I didn't already have a Switch. Like if I was buying a Switch or in the market for one, I would consider it, but I probably would go for the Zelda one.
The Zelda one is really nice. Like that is the favorite one that I have, and I don't need this one. I don't need it.
I'm predicting a couple weeks from now we're gonna have a TikTok of you showing that off with the usual thing that you do.
See, it's easy to make your money back on a $10 calculator app. It's not that easy to make your money back on a $350 Switch.
You do need to clip that part out of the show though that says I don't want it or I don't need it, whatever you said. And then when you buy the Mario Switch, that's the next clip that shows up.
Try not to.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'll sell I could get rid of one.
Well, our last comment is on Spotify from John from the future. Good to hear from you again. Full price is an arbitrary number that companies have invented and most of society doesn't want to change. No game can be worth full price because there shouldn't be a full price game. That
was deep.
Yeah, that's some like big brain thinking. Yeah. So I know it's not John. It's not
I
you,
mean,
Johnny.
in
That's
5 years or whatever.
Comments.
But now I'm a year older, so now closer. Maybe in 5 years, my brain will be working like that. But no, I get it. It is a. I mean, everything's made up, right? Money's made up. Value is made up. Like, who says that $1 is worth $1? Somebody says this is worth $1 or this is worth this much, and everybody's like, okay.
Yeah, everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Exactly.
Great reference, great show.
That's your philosophy for this week.
Yep.
Nothing matters. Once you will become very zen or like have a better outlook on your life once you realize nothing matters. Nothing that you do matters. Because you're going to die. Okay. And everybody around you is going to die. So the people causing you stress are going to die. You know, even if I buy this Super Mario Switch edition and there's a little kid that wants to buy it and there's only one left and I don't let him buy it, I buy it. Doesn't matter because that little kid's going to die eventually.
Wow. And on that happy note,
I can't wait for you guys to get those therapy bills in the mail from your viewers.
Seriously. No, Jeff, thank you so much for being on the show. Not only being on the show, but also just listening and being one of our first listeners and supporting us. I mean, this is episode 20. I didn't think that we would get this far. And it's people like you and the rest of our community that are helping us out. So that really means a lot, man.
Yeah, of course.
Well, where can people find you?
I'm Jefftroidvania everywhere. Literally. If there's a social media, there's probably a Jefftroidvania account.
That's true. You asked if I had a Blue Sky invitation. I was like, I don't, but
Blue Sky, Spoutable, Mastodon, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. I mean, name it, and I probably have an account on there with that's Jefftroidvania.
N64 Josh has the joke of farmers only. Are you on there?
No.
I think maybe that's the next one you need to get on.
I do play a lot of Stardew Valley.
Yeah, so see, there you go.
That's true, yeah. What's the criteria?
being a farmer. Threads
just archived on my phone, so that's how long it's been since I used that thing.
Used it a lot in the first 2 weeks, and then I haven't been on it.
Well, Johnny, where can people find you?
I'm Johnny Bo, not literally everywhere, but Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and the Nintendo Powercast.
You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, our Discord, the Nintendo Powercast, CheezyC64, CheeeZYC64. Jeff, thank you again for being on our show.
Thank
We
you.
really
thanks for
appreciate it.
And you're on the longest episode ever of the Communication Air podcast.